Hey, how's it going? It's Martin. So today I want to talk a little bit about how to hire a headshot photographer. Okay? You've probably, if you came across this video, you've probably been looking for a while now, and you've been hearing your friends telling you, oh, hire this person because I worked with them and they were great. Then someone else who's like, hire this person because I worked with them and they were great. Then someone else who's like, no, don't hire that person because I worked with them and they were terrible. So you get all this information from your friends, and then on top of that, you also have Google. You're searching online and you see listings and listings of headshot photographers. You see Yelp reviews. You see photographers whose website has some great photos and they have great reviews on their website, but then they have Yelp reviews that are negative. And then on top of that, if you're an actor, you've probably been told by someone, oh, go check out reproductions.com. They have a list of top photographers that they recommend. And then there's acting teachers who recommend things to you. And then there's, you know, if you work with let's say you're a business person and you're getting a website designed and your web designer's recommending a headshot photographer for you. There's so many options that it can get a little bit overwhelming. So I want to help you by first making you think of what it is that you actually need, because there's certain photographers that specialize in, say, like modeling headshots, and then there's other photographers who specialize in corporate portraits, and then there's some that specialize in actor headshots. There's some companies that, you know, they'll do every type of headshot imaginable because all they do is headshots. Whereas, like, let's say a headshot photographer who does modeling headshots, they also do lots of modeling work, and they work in like the fashion industry and stuff. So most photographers will do like a series of different types of work, but some of them specialize only on headshots, and they do them for all different industries. And then some will specialize only in actors, but they also do a lot of other work for actors. So it's kind of, you know, you want to think first off, are you looking for something that is in a specific industry? You might want to look at people's reviews on Yelp and Google before you actually hire them, only because even if you get like 2 friends who've worked with someone and they had a good experience, it might have just been luck. And if they have bad reviews on Yelp or on Google, then that means that maybe their clients, most clients who work with them, didn't like the experience, and your friend who did just happened to be lucky. So my suggestion is to follow this approach, all right? First thing you're gonna do is search on Google, okay? Type in Headshots NYC or Headshots LA, wherever you are. And you're gonna basically make a list of, look at the first maybe 1 or 2 pages and go to each of those photographers' websites, and assuming that you can navigate and the website is okay, you find their pictures, and if you like the pictures in their portfolio, that's a good sign. What I want you to do, though, this is really important, is look for whichever photos in their portfolio you really don't like, and ask yourself, do I not like this picture because it's a bad expression and, you know, the picture is just really bad, or do I not like it for more of like an opinion reason, like, oh, I just don't like that type of background, I think that it looks like too formal for me or something. If the reason that you don't like the picture is actually because it's a bad headshot, like the lighting is messed up or the expression is really bad or the person just has like an awkward pose, then you need to question, why would the photographer put that into their portfolio? A portfolio is meant to be the showcase of the best of the best of the best shots only. So if they have photos in there that are not good, like technically, and you don't like it for a non-opinion based reason, you got to ask yourself, why would they put that in there? Obviously they think that it's a good headshot. So what I want to do is we're gonna have to continue this video because the battery's about to die. We're gonna continue this video inside shortly. Hey, I'm back. Sorry about that break, the camera battery died, but anyway, let's continue. So I was just saying about how you're gonna find your headshot photographer. Then you should also reach out and ask friends who have headshots that you really like, ask them for recommendations, and check out those photographers' websites as well and do the same thing. You're basically creating a list of photographers that you might want to work with. The next step that you want to do is look for the pricing of those photographers. So if their rates aren't listed on their website, you can feel free to reach out to them via email or call them, get their rates, and then you're going to narrow it down based on what the prices are that you can afford. In many cases, you'll be advised not to let price determine your decision on who to hire. My only response to that is there are general price ranges that, like if you're spending $1,000 or $2,000 or some like extraordinary amount that you can't consistently afford each year, then maybe don't invest in those photographers. But if you're also like looking to spend less than say like $250, $300, you're really like looking to buy a cheap headshot, along the order of like $50, $100, $150. Sometimes those photographers, they might not be able to get you a headshot that's really going to be effective to help you get more work if that's the point of your shot. Your shot needs to look really good in terms of your expression, the lighting on it, the background, all that stuff needs to look really professional. And if the photographer doesn't specialize in headshots, or they're just starting out and building up a portfolio so they don't charge a lot, sometimes it might be your money is just kind of wasted and you might have as well have just had a friend take the picture with their camera. Anyway, once you narrow it down to pricing that you can afford, and again, keeping in mind every year you should update your headshots, so you want to look to spend this money every year. If you can afford that consistently each year, then the next step is to reach out to them either over email or over the phone if you can't get a sense of what their personality is like through their website. Sometimes websites are written in third person, so when you're looking through it, it says like, oh, so-and-so photographer has done all these shoots, blah, blah, blah. Other websites are like, hey, I'm so-and-so and I'd love to work with you, can't wait to chat, blah, blah, blah. And if you can kind of get a sense of the photographer's personality on their website, then it might not be 100% necessary to reach out to them over the phone and talk. But if you can't really get that sense, talk to them over the phone or at least over email and make sure that they're friendly and seem easy to work with and that your personality kind of clicks. If it doesn't, sometimes that can create an issue on the shoot because you're very different from the photographer and their personality might not work with yours. Another way to find out a photographer's personality is to see if there's any videos of them online where they're talking and stuff, and you can kind of get an idea of what they're like as a person. Some photographers will also allow you to do an in-person consultation with them. But as long as you can kind of narrow it down even further, making sure that their personality is fun and that you'll get along well with them, then at that point it just kind of becomes time to decide like, who is it who offers whatever other features I need, Does their package contain retouched photos, if you want that, or how much is that going to cost afterwards? Or do they specialize or offer the type of shot that I want? If I want to shoot with a photographer but they only do white background headshots and I want to do a blurred background, well then maybe someone else would be better. Another thing to think about is insurance. Like, does the photographer have the proper insurance, especially if you're looking for a on-location shoot, let's say, and you have a building that the photographer's going to come to and they need specific insurance requirements. Same thing if you're going to their studio. If some photographers aren't properly insured, and if like a light were to fall or something were to happen, you might not be covered. So those are just some things to think about as you're hiring. A couple of other things might just be like, looking up their reviews online because you want to make sure that many people are happy with them when they're working with them. But in general, you can kind of narrow it down. The last, and I would say one of the most important things to consider is just whether the photographer has some sort of guarantee in place that they will actually honor in case you're not happy with the shots. For instance, at my studio, when we shoot, we let you see the images as we go along in the shoot. We'll show you either on the back of the camera, or if it's a longer shoot, we can load them into the computer and let you take a look at them that way. But if the photographer doesn't like to let people see the photos during the shoot, that could be a red flag because you don't know what you're getting in that case, and you don't know whether the shots are going to come out well. If they do let you see, do they still offer a refund or reshoot policy? You know, like at City Headshots, we always offer that. If someone, it's very rare, but if someone's not happy with the way that their photos come out, why would they be paying for a session that they can't use? So we either let them do a reshoot, or in some cases we can refund them as well. If the photographer doesn't do that, or seems kind of like, when you ask them about it, they seem kind of standoffish, then that might be a reason to look into working with someone else. Because you don't want to spend like $300, $400, $500, in some cases $1,000, and not, you know, be guaranteed to be happy. Those, I guess, would be the main things that you want to look at when you're hiring a photographer. I mean, one last thing is just to find out what kind of space they shoot in. You know, do they work out of a professional studio environment, or are they shooting out of their apartment? And it's, you know, that could be a little bit of an uncomfortable situation. There's many things to think about, but hopefully these things have been helpful for you. If you don't mind, leave a comment below if you have any ideas of things that could be good to look into. And I'll either make another video in the future on it, or we can kind of start a conversation below. Hopefully other people are, you know, commenting, and you can scroll down and see what other people suggest to look out for when you're hiring a photographer. As always, if you found this video helpful, please subscribe and check out more videos. We have more coming out every single day. And live with purpose.